Have you ever driven alone on a creepy night? I have, and what I encountered still sends chills down my spine. The night that I'm about to recount was one that started just like any other. I was at my friend's house, enjoying the camaraderie and laughter. As the night grew darker and the hour late, I knew it was time to say my goodbyes. My friend, with a serious look on his face, warned me about the road I was about to take. He said it was notoriously haunted, a road that locals avoided especially after sunset. I remember laughing it off, brushing away his concerns as mere superstition. I was a skeptic, a non-believer in ghosts and the paranormal. I bid my friend farewell, assuring him that I'd be fine. As I started my car and drove off into the night, his worried face imprinted in my rearview mirror. I wish I had listened to my friend, but it was too late. I was already on the haunted road. The road was dark and eerily quiet, only the sound of my car engine breaking the silence. Streetlights were sparse, their dim glow barely penetrating the inky blackness that enveloped the desolate highway. The night was a shroud, a seemingly tangible mass of obscurity that seemed to swallow the world whole. The drive had started typically enough, the familiar hum of the engine and the rhythmic thud of tires against the asphalt creating a soothing rhythm. But then, the first anomaly occurred. My headlights, reliable companions in the face of the night, started flickering. It was subtle at first, almost unnoticeable, but then they would go out completely for a few seconds only to return, casting an uncertain glow on the road ahead. The radio, which was previously playing a soft rock station, started to emit a harsh static, the melodies replaced by an eerie white noise. I reached out to adjust the dial, but the static persisted, the discordant sound clawing at my nerves. The heater was on, yet a chilling cold began to seep into the car, an icy grip that had me shivering despite my winter coat. As I drove on, the atmosphere inside the car began to change. It felt denser, heavier, as if the air was charged with an unseen energy. I could feel it, prickling at the back of my neck, a sensation of being watched. I glanced at the rearview mirror, half expecting to see a phantom face staring back. But there was nothing, only the darkness of the empty back seat. I shook my head, trying to brush off the sense of dread that had taken hold of me. It was just my imagination, I told myself. Just the late hour and the long solitary drive playing tricks on my mind. But the feeling persisted, growing stronger with each passing minute. I started to sweat, my heart pounding in my chest. It felt like something was watching me. The road ahead was a tunnel of darkness, a path leading me deeper into the unfathomable night. The flickering headlights, the persistent radio static, the chilling cold. They were no longer just strange occurrences. They were omens, warnings whispering of the unseen horror that lurked in the shadows. And then out of nowhere I saw her, a ghostly figure standing in the middle of the road. The words tumbled out of my mouth, a chilling whisper in the cold, dark night. An ethereal woman draped in a flowing white gown appeared before me. Her skin was as pale as the moonlight, her eyes hollow and empty, a silent scream etched on her face. In that split second my blood ran cold, panic surged within me, a tidal wave of fear crashing over my senses. The steering wheel felt icy under my grip, my knuckles turning white as I desperately swerved to avoid hitting her. My tires skidded on the desolate road, the screeching sound echoing into the night. The world seemed to move in slow motion as I helplessly watched my car hurtle towards a gnarled old tree. With a deafening crash, the car slammed into the tree. The impact jolted me, my head snapping back against the seat, my breath hitching in my throat. I could hear the eerie silence that followed. The only sound was my heart pounding like a drum in my ears. I forced my eyes open, my vision blurry. I turned to look back, expecting to see the woman in white, but she was gone. The road behind me was empty, as if she had vanished into thin air. Was it just my imagination playing tricks on me, or had I really seen her, a ghostly apparition on this haunted road? I sat there, in the wreckage of my car, the cold night air seeping through the shattered window. My heart was still racing, my hands trembling. I could still see her face, her haunting eyes seared into my memory. I could still feel the chill that her presence had sent down my spine. In the silence of the night, under the pale moonlight, I realized the terrifying truth. I was alone again, shaking, my heart racing. I knew then that I had just encountered the ghost of the haunted road. The rest of the night was a blur. I remember the police, the tow truck, and the looks of pity from the locals. The next day was filled with disbelief as I tried to recount the events of the night before. Their skepticism was palpable, but it didn't shake me. I grappled with my own sanity, my mind wrestling with the unexplainable. The memory of that nightmarish encounter etched deep within, a constant reminder of the unknown. I know what I saw that night. and I'll never drive down that road again.